Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and this is a part 3 of my Premier League review. I have already done part 1 and part 2, in which I have discussed 8 clubs of Premier League and talked about their preparations for the new season. So if you want to have a look at it, you can go and check them out. I will put the links in the description below. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 more clubs, them being Bournemouth, Brighton, Crystal Palace, and West Ham United. We're going to see how their preparations are going on. We are going to discuss their transfer dealings. We are going to discuss the new manager appointments as well, and the impact that all of these things are going to have on the club and on the new season, and if some of these clubs can do better next season as compared to the last one. A lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. We are going to start with Bournemouth. They finished last season at 12th position, and I think it was a good season for them. They had a good turnaround because after first 11-12 games they were in a relegation places, so they made a good turnaround. It was their managers of Iraola's first season at the club, so it took them time to get into his way of playing, the philosophy that he wanted his club to play, to play football. It took them some time, but they got a hang of it, and they really got into the groove. After December, January, they were really into it, and they had a great end to the season, and they finished in a respectable position. And Iraola would hope that his team can go on, and after a good first season they can go on and move and maybe try to compete and get into a top 10 finish, and I think I would have been on board with that. I would have agreed with that, but with the latest transfer that has happened, I think that puts them in jeopardy. Dominic Solanke has left Bournemouth for Tottenham Hotspur for about 60 million pounds. So it's a big deal. A massive amount of money has come, and Bournemouth have lost an important player. He scored 19 goals for them last season, so that's a huge loss. You can try to cover it up as much as you want, but you cannot really do it. They need to go out, and they need to go out and buy some good players. The problem with Bournemouth is that the timing of the transfer is not good. If it had happened early on in August, or maybe when the Euros finished just like mid-July, that time there was a lot of time to go out and buy strikers. But as of right now, there are no good strikers available in the market that they can go out and buy. And who do you bring in who is a ready-made striker who can give you 19 goals, even if not able to provide you 19 goals, who is a striker who can come in and give you 15 goals? That is important for you to keep you in the league. I don't see anyone that maybe now Bournemouth can go and try to sign Samu Omorudin. His deal from with Chelsea got collapsed. He is now not coming to Chelsea. He's gone back to Madrid, and he's now looking for a new club. So Bournemouth have the money. They can go and they can get him get him to come to the club, and maybe they can go and try to sign him as well. They have, as I said, it is a good amount of money. Even if they cannot get one player, they can get 2-3 players, maybe a winger, maybe a creative midfielder, players who can share the burden, share the goals that Solanke scored last season. They have brought in players. They have permanently signed Unal from Getafe and Luis Sinistra from Leeds United. They were both on loan here last season, but now they have permanently signed as well. Plus they have signed Daniel Jebison on a free. He's a 20-year-old player, but to be very honest, these signings are not enough for Bournemouth, and they really need to go out and sign a good couple of players. Otherwise, I see them having a trouble this season. As I said, losing a player who has scored 19 goals, it's a big loss. And if they don't recover from it, I think it might be a tough season, and they might be involved in a relegation battle. There is still time for them to go out and buy some players, but as of now, it's not really looking good for Bournemouth. One player has had a major impact on them, and they really need to do something to replace them. Otherwise, it's going to be a difficult season for them this time around. So we'll see what they do. As I said, there's a lot of time, so we'll keep an eye on that. Moving on from Bournemouth, we're going to talk about Brighton and Hove Albion. They finished last season at 11th, but that was a fell off for them as compared to the previous two seasons where they finished in top 10. They qualified for Europe as well last year around, and they went to the round of 16 in a Europa League. That was a good experience for them, but in the league their form was not as good as you would have expected. You can say that playing in Europe Thursday to Sunday, it had a bit of an effect on them. And in a way, I agree with that, but I think there were a lot of things happening in the background that we don't really know, and that was the reason that Roberto De Zerbi announced to leave the club. I think that is a big loss. I think he was a great manager. He's still and I think that he is going to, losing him is a big deal for them, because he was doing a great job. But it is Brighton. It usually happens. They have a great manager for a couple of years, and then they leave the club. It happened with Graham Potter when he left for Chelsea. Everybody was concerned that what's going to happen to Brighton. Then they brought in Roberto De Zerbi, and he did a better job as compared to Graham Potter. And now he has gone, and now again there are question marks that what's gonna happen with Brighton. They have gone in and brought Fabian Husler. He was the manager of FC St. Pauli. He won them promotion, won the Bundesliga 2, and got them promoted to Bundesliga. So he's coming up with a great credentials. This is going to be his first big job at our Premier League club in English football. So it is a new territory for him, but it's Brighton. It's really going to be very exciting. He plays the same brand of football that De Zerbi did, the same brand of football that Potter did. So Brighton are just following in their philosophy, and they have brought in they have brought in a good manager, in my opinion, and I am really excited to see what he does. And in terms of transfers as well, they have brought in 19-year-old Yakuba Mitne from Newcastle United. He was on loan at Feyenoord last year. He scored 10 goals there, provided 6 assists, so it's going to be his first season in the Premier League. So we are going to see how he performs there. They have also brought in his teammate from last year in Daniel Feiner. He from Feyenoord for 30 million euros as well. So they have they're bringing players that the manager knows already. They have also brought in Ismail Osman from 20 million euros, so that is a good signing as well. They already have a good strong. I think the best thing for Brighton or for a lot of these clubs is that they don't lose the good players that they have. Brighton have managed to keep their squad intact till now, so it's a very good thing for them. And bringing these players in, both of these players are very close with the manager. He knows them, so it's a good signing for them. And Brighton are known to bring in young raw talents and then making them into stars. So I think they are following that philosophy. In terms of their departures, Pascal Grob has joined Borussia Dortmund for 7 million euros. He was not really a part of the team last time around, so it's not really a big loss. And then Dennis Undav has permanently joined Stuttgart for 21 million euros. Again, he was on loan there last year, so it's not a big deal for Brighton. They have not lost an important squad member, so it's looking good. I don't think they are gonna compete for Europe. I don't think they are gonna be in top 10. I think the Brighton fans need to have their expectations on the normal this season, because they have gotten they have started to expect very good things from their club to fight for the European places and try to get into Europe. But I don't think this season that should be their expectations. This is going to be a transitional season, and they need to make sure that they give their manager a time. I personally think they might finish at the same place next season. they will not be in a relegation battle for sure. That I'm like pretty sure, like I'm certain about it, because of the amount of good players that they have. And again, the manager is very good. It's just that it's his first time managing in English in English football, and it's such an important club as well. So that might be the only reason that I'm not letting them go further up the table. And I think that they will be finishing at the same thing. I think you might see Brighton same at 11th spot next time around as well. Moving on from Brighton to Crystal Palace, and they finished last season at 10th, which was their best place finish in the club's history. But it was not looking like it was gonna happen until under Roy Hodgson. He got sick, and he left the club willingly, because there were rumors that he was gonna get sacked, and then he got sick and he was taken to the hospital, and then he left the club. Like, I don't want to sound like a bad person who's talking something bad about an old man, but the day that rumors started coming in, you get sick on the same day. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. But he was replaced by Oliver Glasner, and I think he has done a great job. What a turnaround for them at the end of the season, winning 6 out of their last 7 games, and they finished in top 10. And the fans, the management, the board of directors, everybody, they would hope that this run of form at the end of the season continues at the start of this season, and they have a great season this time around, and they continue to play the good football that they did at the end of last season, and they can finish in top 10 as well, and they don't have to go through the troubles that they went last year under Hodgson. Again, I mean, no disrespect to Hodgson, but I think it felt a little weary that he got sick on the same day that he was gonna get the sack. But we'll leave Hodgson now. We concentrate on Glasner, and as I said, he's a really good manager. I think it's a very smart appointment from Crystal Palace, and his brand of football is quite different to Hodgson's, and we saw the results of that at the end of last season. And if you're a Crystal Palace fan, you should be really excited for the new season. They have lost Michael Olise to Bayern Munich for 53 million euros, but the good thing for them is that that is the only player that they have lost till now. Their squad is filled with great talented players, and if they want to compete, if they want to finish in top 10, the main main priority for them should be to keep these players in the squad, to not let them go. I know it's going to be hard for them, but as of now, like, there is about less than 20 days to go, and they've still managed to keep them at the club. And let's hope that players like Eze, Gueye and Gueye, they are still at the club, and they can keep them there. And because if they do, I think Palace are gonna have a great season, especially with the signings they have brought in. Ismail Sarr and centre back Najdi from Real Betis and Sevilla respectively for 15 million euros each. Both of them are very good signings. And then the Japanese Kamechi Namada has joined on a free, and that is a good signing as well. He already knows the manager. He played under him at Feyenoord before, so he knows the manager. He knows the way that he likes to play, so he has made a great signing as well. So as I said before, the main thing for them is to control, have the players that they have, and try not to lose them. That is the main concern for Crystal Palace. And if they do that, I think there is another top 10 finish for them this season, and I think they are gonna have a great season this time around. And the final thing that we are going to talk about is West Ham. They finished last season at 9th, but they should have finished higher up the table. Like, the end of the season for them, the second half was abysmal. 4 wins in their last 19 games shows you how much of a bad season they had, especially the second half. They were in the quarterfinals of the League Cup, they were in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, so you can say that that could have had an effect on them, but they lost both the quarterfinals, so there was no trophy as well to cover up the bad league form, and they failed to qualify for Europe this time around. It was David Moyes' last season as well. He has left the club. Moyes has been like interesting figure at the club, controversial. Some of the fans love him, some of them hate him. So it's quite interesting. He won them a European trophy, but fans are not really happy with the way he plays the game, the way he plays football. They are not really happy. So now he has gone. They have brought in Lopetegui, whose style is completely different to Moyes. So I personally think that's a very good signing, a very good appointment by the club. They need a manager who can now take West Ham forward. I don't think Moyes could have taken them much more forward than he did, and I think Lopetegui is the perfect appointment for that. And I personally think that a lot of people are sleeping on West Ham this season. The signings that they have made and the squad that they have, I think they are a certain contender to finish in Europe this season. I think they are going to have an amazing season. I mean, I had to make a separate video for their transfer business because they have made such an amazing signing. Max Kilman from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Christine Somerville from Leeds United. Then you have Nicholas Folger from Borussia Dortmund, Luis Aguirre from Palmeiras. They have gone on and signed Claire Tobido from Nice. That was a hijack of the highest order. It felt like I'm watching a Netflix documentary or something. Then they have signed Guide Rodriguez on a free as well. They are almost certain to sign Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Man United. This one, after what has happened with Omoruddin, I'm not gonna say anything, but as of right now, I think Wan-Bissaka is going to West Ham. The deal between the clubs have been agreed. Personal terms have been agreed as well. He has come to London for his medical. So let's hope the deal goes through, but I am now really scared to say anything about a possible deal until it's not announced, after what has happened at Chelsea at Omoruddin, I think, and the mess that has created. But for West Ham, the signings that they have made, and they have not lost any major player from their squad, and I think they are gonna have an amazing season. And I'm saying it right now, I think they are gonna finish in a top 7. And my prediction video for my Premier League prediction video is gonna have a few surprises, and I'm giving it right now. I think they are gonna be in top 7, like the 6 or 7. One of those places is going to go to West Ham. I have not made up my mind, but I'm sure they are gonna be there. And I'm like I am like surprised when I see some of the predictions that have already been made. People have not really given West Ham that much of a chance, and I'm really surprised that that has happened, and because I think they are going to surprise a lot of people this season. So yeah, that is it from me in this video. I've discussed all the 4 clubs. Please let me know what you guys think of all these signings and the managerial changes and what the impact that they are going to have, and do you agree with my views as well? Do you think West Ham are going to have a good season or not? And what about Brighton and Bournemouth and Crystal Palace as well? Let me know everything in the comment section below. Like the video as well, share it, click on the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. The season is about to start. There are going to be a lot of content being made before the season start and then throughout the season as well, so it's better you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.